Between 1206 and 1368, the Mongol Empire wiped out roughly 40 million people. That was about 10% of every living human on the planet at the time. And the way they killed was not fast, not clean, and not anything close to merciful. These are the 20 worst torture methods used by Mongol armies, counted down from 20 to 1. And number 1 is the reason entire civilizations disappeared overnight. Let's start with number 20, collecting ears from the dead. After the Battle of Legnica in Poland in April of 1241, the Mongol army had a problem. They had just destroyed a European alliance of Polish soldiers, Moravian troops, and elite knights including Templars and Teutonic knights. But they needed to count how many they killed. So they walked the battlefield, body by body, and cut the right ear off every dead soldier. When they finished, those ears filled 9 large sacks. 9 full bags of human ears from one single battle. Reports from Bulgaria and Russia described the same thing happening around the same time. The Mongols treated body counts like office work. Collect, count, report, move on. But that ear collecting? That was considered one of the gentle ones. What they did to entire cities was on a completely different level. Here comes number 19, killing the land itself. When the Mongols took over parts of Central Asia and Persia, they did something no sword could do. They destroyed the irrigation systems. These canals had taken generations to build, and they were the only thing keeping farmland alive in dry regions like Khorasan. The Mongols ripped them apart on purpose. Without water, crops died. Without crops, people starved. Entire areas that had been green and full of life turned into dust. Some of those regions never recovered. Not in decades, not in centuries. The Mongols figured out you do not need to swing a blade at every person when you can take away their water and let time do the killing. And if starving people slowly sounds bad, wait until you hear what they did when they actually showed up at your front door. Let's move to number 18. Waiting until you eat your own shoes. If a city had thick walls and strong defenders, the Mongols did not always charge in. Sometimes they just sat outside and waited. They blocked every road, every river, every path in and out. Nothing moved. Weeks turned into months. Food ran out first, then clean water. People ate leather belts, rats, and things nobody wants to talk about. Disease spread through the packed, starving streets like wildfire. By the time the gates opened, the people inside were walking skeletons. And the Mongols still killed most of them anyway. The siege was never about saving Mongol soldiers. It was about making sure the next city surrendered the second they saw the Mongol flag on the horizon. Next one is number 17, baking a man alive in the sun. A Persian nobleman found out about this one firsthand. After being captured, the Mongols covered his entire body in thick sheep fat, wrapped him tight in heavy felt, and left him tied up under the open desert sun. The fat slowly cooked into his skin. They felt trapped in every bit of heat. He could not move, could not roll over, could not even scream properly with the felt pressing against his face. He just baked, alive, for hours, while the Mongols sat nearby and watched. This was not a quick battlefield killing. This was a slow, personal message. And that message was simple. Fight us, and we have all day to make you wish you had not. But cooking a man in the sun was still not the worst thing they did to a single person. That honor goes to something much more personal. Let's move to number 16. Nails hammered into the skull. This one actually came from the other side first. After Persian forces beat a Mongol army in battle, the Persian victors took their Mongol prisoners and drove iron nails straight into their heads. In Mongol belief, the head held the soul. So hammering nails into a Mongol skull was not just killing the body, it was an attack on the soul itself, meant to destroy them in the afterlife too. The Mongols remembered this, every single detail. And when they came back to that region, and they always came back, The punishment they delivered was so extreme that people talked about it for centuries. Now, those last few were bad, but we have not even gotten to the methods the Mongols used on a mass scale yet. And those are where things get truly dark. Here comes number 15. Worked to death like a machine. When the Mongols captured a city, they did not just kill everyone on the spot. They sorted people into groups like livestock. Skilled workers like blacksmiths and craftsmen got shipped all the way to Mongolia to build things for the empire. Young men of fighting age got forced into the Mongol army and made to fight against their own people in the next battle. Everyone else became a slave. These slaves carried supplies, built roads, and worked construction projects across thousands of miles of empire. No breaks, no medical help, no end in sight. When their bodies gave out, they were left where they fell. The Mongols treated human beings like tools, and when a tool breaks, you do not fix it. You just grab another one. Let's move to number 14. Raining severed heads from the sky. During a siege, the Mongols would gather up the heads of soldiers they had already killed, stack them into their giant catapults, and launch them right over the city walls. Now imagine you are standing on the wall of your city, looking out at the Mongol army, and suddenly, dozens of human heads come flying through the air and land at your feet. Some of those faces belonged to people you knew, your neighbors, your friends, your family members from the town down the road. The Mongols used this tactic because it broke people faster than any weapon ever could. A lot of cities just opened their gates and surrendered the moment heads started raining from the sky, because fear travels faster than any arrow ever will. And those catapults? The Mongols loaded them with something even worse than heads. Next one is number 13. Launching disease into your city. Sometimes the Mongols would take entire dead bodies, especially those who died from plague or sickness, and catapult them over the walls into a city that was still holding out. This was biological warfare, hundreds of years before anybody had a name for it. The rotting flesh spread disease through the water, the food, and the air inside those walls. People who survived the siege itself got sick and died weeks later from infections they could not see or fight. Some historians believe this tactic helped spread the Black Death from Asia into Europe. The Mongols turned corpses into weapons, and those weapons kept killing long after the last soldier left the battlefield. Let's move to number 12. Drowning cities with their own rivers. In 1209, Genghis Khan could not break through the walls of the western Xia capital, Yinchuan. So he told his engineers to redirect the entire river and aim it at the city. Water smashed through the outer defenses and flooded the streets. People drowned inside their own homes with nowhere to run. Then in 1221, at the city of Urgench, the Mongols broke the dams holding back the Amu Darya River after the city had already surrendered.
The water killed thousands of survivors who thought they were safe. They had put down their weapons. They had accepted defeat. And the river came for them anyway. The Mongols understood something that every other army missed. Water does not stop for walls. Water does not care how strong your armor is. Water goes everywhere, and it kills everything it touches. Flooding cities was terrifying enough, but the Mongols saved their most creative punishments for people who insulted them personally, and those punishments will keep you up at night. Here comes number 11. Dragged through the streets behind horses. In 1228, a Mongol army actually lost a battle near the city of Isfahan. The Persian victors grabbed the captured Mongol soldiers, tied them to the backs of horses, and dragged them through the city streets while the entire population watched and cheered. The cobblestones tore the Mongol bodies apart, piece by piece, as entertainment. The people of Isfahan laughed and celebrated. The Mongols remembered every face, every cheer, every insult from that day. And when they returned to Isfahan years later with a bigger army, the payback they unleashed was so extreme that the whole region went silent with fear. Let's move to number 10, using civilians as living shields. The Mongols created a tactic they called karash, and it translates to living boards.
Before attacking a walled city, they rounded up civilians from towns they had already taken: women, children, old people. Then they forced these people to walk at the front of the attack, right into the arrows and boiling oil the defenders were shooting down. The defenders had to kill their own neighbors just to take a shot at the Mongols hiding behind them. Fathers firing arrows into crowds that held their own families. The Mongols walked through untouched, while innocent people absorbed every hit. During the invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire, thousands of prisoners were used this way across 3 continents. Here comes number 9, assembly line mass killing. After taking the city of Urgench in 1221, the Mongols organized the killing like a factory. According to historian Juvaini, 50,000 Mongol soldiers each received exactly 24 prisoners to execute. Do the math, and you get 1.2 million people killed in one organized operation. At Nishapur, every soldier got orders to kill at least 300 people. No chaos, no random violence, just assigned numbers, clean efficiency, and a body count that would make your head spin. They turned mass killing into something mechanical. No emotion, no hesitation, just a job that needed to get done. And those were just the regular soldiers following orders. What did the Mongol leaders do to enemy kings and generals? That was a whole other level of horror. Let's move to number 8, boiled alive in giant pots. Before Genghis Khan took control of the Mongol tribes, his biggest rival was a warlord named Jamuka. And Jamuka had a favorite punishment so extreme, it actually helped Genghis gain power. After winning a major battle, Jamuka had captured enemy generals thrown into giant boiling cauldrons, alive, while their own soldiers watched. Historical sources talk about 70 cauldrons used at the same time. Whether that number is exact or just meant a whole lot does not matter. The screams from those boiling pots were so horrible that warriors across the steppe started switching sides. They figured anyone had to be better than the man who boils people alive for entertainment. And honestly, they were not wrong, because Genghis had his own nightmare list waiting. Next one is number 7, building pyramids from human skulls. In 1221, the Mongols captured the Persian city of Nishapur, and then they killed every single person inside. The attack was personal. Genghis Khan's own son-in-law had been killed during the siege, and his daughter demanded total revenge. According to historian Juvaini, the skulls of the dead were collected and stacked into massive pyramids outside the city gates. Separate pyramids for men, women, and children. 3 towers of bone standing in the open for the world to see. The death toll sits somewhere between 700,000 and 1.7 million people. Those pyramids stayed there for months as a warning. And it worked. After Nishapur, city after city opened their gates without a fight. Genghis Khan's descendant Timur took this even further. After killing 90,000 in Baghdad in 1401, he built 120 skull pyramids. At Isfahan, he stacked 35 towers from 200,000 skulls. These were not random anger. They were advertising. Let's move to number 6, sewn shut and thrown in the river. When Guyuk Khan believed a powerful woman named Fatima had poisoned his brother, the punishment was straight out of a nightmare. After days of beatings, burning, and forced confessions, Fatima was found guilty. Every single opening on her body was sewn shut.
Her mouth, her nose, everything. She was wrapped tight in felt so nothing could get in or out. And while still alive, still awake, still feeling everything, they threw her into a river. The reason? Mongol religion said spilling blood on the earth offended the sky god Tengri. So they invented ways to kill that kept every drop of blood trapped inside the body. The result was a death so slow and painful that a quick sword to the neck would have been a gift. The no blood rule sounds almost polite until you realize the methods they created to follow it were some of the most brutal tortures any human has ever invented. Here comes number 5,
Snapping the Spine. Genghis Khan and his old friend Jamuka had once been blood brothers, two men who swore loyalty to each other for life. But Jamuka betrayed Genghis more than once, and eventually the Khan caught up with him. Out of respect for their old bond, Genghis wanted Jamuka to die without blood being spilled, so he had Jamuka's back broken. Quick enough to be considered honorable, slow enough to be agonizing. A wrestler named Buri got an even worse version. Years earlier, Buri had embarrassed Genghis Khan's brother Belgute in a public wrestling match. When Genghis finally came to power, he invited Buri for a rematch. Terrified, Buri threw the fight on purpose, hoping that losing would save his life. But at a signal from Genghis, Belgute slammed his knee into Buri's back and pulled on his collarbone until the spine cracked apart. Buri was dragged outside, paralyzed but alive, and left on the ground to die while everyone watched. That was the Mongol definition of mercy. Next one is number 4, eating dinner on top of dying princes. After the Battle of the Kalka River in 1223, the Mongols captured several Russian princes along with their noble commanders. And what happened next became one of the most infamous executions in recorded history. The Mongol soldiers laid every captured prince flat on the ground, then placed heavy wooden boards on top of them. And then, the Mongol generals sat down on those boards and held their victory feast. They ate roasted meat, they drank wine,